Welcome to episode 17 of the Poker Face podcast. One last job.
In this week's episode, we're introduced to Kendall Hines, a store worker with a film obsession who might have created a blueprint for a heist with his latest draft screenplay. When the plan goes awry and Kendall's manager Bill is murdered, crucial evidence is left behind. Charlie's mission, should she choose to accept it, is to crack the case and bring the culprit to justice. But can she ride off into the sunset? Or does Kendall have one last twist planned?
Ever since we were kids, Bill's been obsessed with sour cream and onion potato chips. And you know it glows in a black light.
Semen.
What?
Good morning, Ian. How are you? How's your black light?
Yeah, not too bad, Gerry. How are you?
Oniony.
Oniony.
We'll leave it at that.
You're just back from Turkey, I believe.
No, I am not. The whole time I was away, you kept asking me about Turkey. I wasn't in Turkey.
No.
Anyway, what have you been up to yourself?
I have been working away. People don't know. Every time we have a break from this, we tell people when we come back that it's been such a long time. We don't remember to do things.
It's about 3 weeks, isn't it?
It's a month since we last recorded, yeah, because the first week I was on holiday and the last two you were away.
This will be appalling. It'll be a rough edit, I'd say.
Unlike all the other episodes.
I was also, at the weekend there, I took my son to see the Goonies.
At the cinema?
Yes. He's seen it before. I've made him, forced him to watch it in the house, but I thought I'd take him to the big screen because it's the 40th year anniversary.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, my dad took me and I thought it would...
Complete the cycle?
Well, not complete the cycle. If I took my dad... But I thought I'd take him and enjoyed it. But do you know what? I'm going to get this off my chest.
You're upset about the Goonies?
Yeah. It's something
it's a different podcast.
It's annoyed me. I think maybe 10 years ago, it dawned on me. And it's been at the back of my mind. And I was watching it again. And for 10 minutes after it in the cinema, I couldn't relax and enjoy it for this, or for these reasons. Okay, so tell me what I'm missing here.
Okay.
So the whole point is that the families are having to move away.
Yes.
Because some nasty developer is going to build a golf course on their land.
Oh, scumbag.
Scumbag by the sound. There's two things here that just don't make sense.
Okay.
Firstly, if you look at the location, and I've watched it many in real life as well, there's plenty of on-location shoots. You can go and visit the house now. Anyway, that entire residential area is effectively built on a cliffside down to the beach. It's one of the worst places to build a golf course.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It's a horrible location if you were planning it. It's so hilly.
Could be a cover story.
It could be. Bigger issue I've got related is that there's talk or reference of foreclosures. Now, I'm assuming that they've got a bank. What happens at a foreclosure is when you can't pay your mortgage.
Yes.
And the bank takes your home from you again.
That's it.
So how's this businessman... it's not one family here that are being evicted. This is an entire neighbourhood.
So they're all behind on their mortgage.
They're all behind their mortgage.
And the bank is so annoyed about it, they want to sell all this land off to this other developer by getting the properties back.
It makes no sense whatsoever. Mikey's father, who works in the museum, he's assistant curator, we know that, he's still got a job. There's not for some reason, the local plant, right?
Yeah.
The local mill has closed down and Trouble at Mill. And they're all employed by this. It's the one industry town. There's no talk of that. So how are all the families, certainly all the kids' families, and if you can see there's dozens and dozens of these houses.
Yeah.
A foreclosure it doesn't make any sense. How would that happen?
The one thing it does ring a bell with me about is that you might remember the Quantum Leap episode where he's robbing the bank. Mm-hmm. And part of the plot of that was...
Quantum Leap, you say? Any podcasts on that you recommend?
Yes, it's The Leap Home by Gerry and Iain.
Oh, right, okay. I'll give that a listen.
Yeah. Anyway, in that episode, part of the plot is that the bank are forcing foreclosures to get land back from people to sell to developers.
But
so it's the same sort of idea. So whether, again, it's unrealistic, they were doing that on a systematic basis. It wasn't just one person.
That was one corrupt... that, and again, was in the 50s, I think it was, or whenever. Yeah, 50s, 60s, whenever. But that was in a very small town and one corrupt bank manager.
Yes, he was in league with developers to gain these properties to sell.
You have to explain that. There's no indication of this whatsoever.
I think it might be one of those things where they throw out this word, foreclosure, development.
Don't think about it.
It's a big idea, holistic, don't worry about it, moving on.
All the families are being, are going... I mean, the amount of money... I can
see Spielberg sitting in a meeting going, nobody cares, just get them to the adventure.
But do you know how much it would cost to buy out all of those houses? It's just unrealistic. It's unviable. Go somewhere else where there's not 100 homes.
Yeah.
And a fairly flat. Anyhow, let's move. What are we talking about this week?
We're talking about One Last Job, which was quite a distance from the normal format, I felt.
Yes.
And there is a movie reference in this film, in this episode.
There is one movie reference, yes.
One or two. And they literally kill Bill.
Someone does.
Anyway, I'm hoping you caught them all because, as we know, I don't watch other movies.
Yeah, didn't catch them all. Caught quite a few. It's obviously one of the ones that you know there'll be lots of nods and references and winks and nudges, and we will probably miss one or two glaring ones and we'll be told.
Anything that we don't mention is deliberately left out so we don't irritate you by saying, oh, that's from this and that's from that.
Or it's so obvious we don't feel the need to bring it up.
Yeah. So if you think we've missed something, no, it's not that. We're just,
too cool
taking it a bit easy.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to highlight any that we don't cover in the podcast, you can find us on social media and talk to us about them. We're at Columbo Podcast on Blue Sky, on X, on Facebook and on Instagram. If you want to find show notes, you can go to columbopodcast.com, and to hear next week's episode 1 a week early, i.e. right now, head over to our YouTube channel, Columbo Podcast Productions, where every episode goes out 1 week ahead of the podcast feed.
Thank you. Okay, I've derailed the podcast long enough. Let's crack on.
We begin on the shop floor.
Super Save.
Kendall.
Was that Super Save? Was that not the name of the store in Coronation Street where...
Never watched it, I don't know.
What you call him, Reg? Was it Reg? How many glasses in Sri Lanka? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Kendall, who we've talked about in the introduction there, is showing a customer the movie Baby Driver on a television. He turns off motion smoothing to show them how it would work the way Edgar Wright wanted it to be seen.
Yes. He's a salesman. We find he's got a fascinating... He's a movie buff. He loves all things.
He's got his own display, I think, beside it says Kendall's top 10 crime picks or something, and then this customer is not that interested. He just wants a blender. Yeah,
he's a fairly polite old man who's obviously humouring him for a few moments, but just wants to go on with his blender buying.
We do hear, though, before Kendall can show this man any blenders, the manager calling him to the office over the PA.
And we hear some Christmas songs playing in the background. And I think that, again, is probably a movie nod. There's a lot of action flicks that are set in or around Christmas. Obviously, Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, what have you.
I'm willing to say I think everything in this episode is a nod to something.
Yes. I mean, I think Edgar Wright is a good example because... in his movies, there's so much detail. Every scene, every single action is there for a reason.
Yes. We now find Kendall arriving at the manager's office where Bill, who I mentioned earlier as well, is trying to dress a mannequin as Santa. Yeah, and
this onion-breathed birthday boy tells Kendall to sit down. They need to talk.
Yes, he's read his latest movie script, and...
heist script, yes.
Yes, he loves it. Thinks it's the best one that Kendall has written so far.
What's it called?
One Last Job. Mm-hmm. Bit like this episode.
He also jokes that if it's so easy to rob a store, he needs to upgrade their security system. However, he appreciates the nods to Heat, Inside Man and Ocean's 11 and wants to know why his friend is not going to Hollywood with this and his 10 other scripts. That seemed a little bit naive. Firstly, unless you yourself are a script reader or have insight into what Hollywood requires and the standards, that's like you saying, oh, my mate's band are really good because you quite like them. You're not an expert yourself. You wouldn't know, if that's... There'll be there is literally thousands of other people.
Yeah, I don't think Bill's expectation is that Kendall would succeed in Hollywood. It's just that he should give himself a shot to try it. At least he obviously loves writing scripts, but he's maybe lacks the confidence to put them out there. And
I suppose, he's thinking, well, what's the worst that can happen?
He comes back.
Yeah, he's not like as if he's got a career, path here that's, that it's going to be derailed. He can always get a job back in the store in a year's time if it doesn't work out.
He gives him, at this point, a very weak excuse and then fires him from his position.
Well, I think the excuses are that he needs to make cutbacks because people are brazenly loading up carts and walking out with TVs. So he's going to beef up security and have to let other people go.
Yeah, but not just let people go, he says have to let key personnel go, which seems like the wrong people to be cut.
Yeah. Kendall can't believe that he's doing this to him. He's got bills to pay and doesn't appreciate being told to wait tables in LA while trying to get into show business. This, to me, reminded me of Good Will Hunting.
I've not seen it.
Have you not? Really?
No,
Okay.
I think I would like it, but I've not seen it.
Yeah, I think you would like it. It's not about going to Hollywood, but it's about a friend noting the potential in his friend,
Right.
and trying to and always telling me, like, get out of here, stop. I think they're working manual labour.
Right.
And he says, well, I've not got the ability, but you have, and you shouldn't end up ruining your life or living your life
Wasting
with me, wasting it away, when you've got so much potential.
We then see an absurd scene where Kendall storms out of the store, chucks his lanyard and waist or body warmer type thing on the ground, and then tips off a thief about a disabled emergency door at the back.
Yes, well, we do in fact see a dodgy looking guy. I think his name is Juice, we find out. Yeah,
And
he is loading up a cart with TVs.
yes, he wants to thank Kendall for this tip and arranges to meet him in Dingalings afterwards.
So at the bar, Kendall helps set up the newly stolen television, including turning off the dreadful motion smoothness as we see Heat being played.
Yes, Juice sympathises with Kendall's unhappiness and thinks they should carry out the big box job from his script.
Well, okay, but I think you missed a nice one-liner here.
Okay.
So Kendall tells him that he's more annoyed about the principle of being sacked, and not the brightest Juice. He nods in agreement that principals and teachers and all that shit are a downer.
Yeah. One of my favourite things about Juice in this episode, I think we get it touched on in the next scene, is the fact that he doesn't get any of the movie references that Kendall comes up with, but then when he has one of his own, it's a completely inane movie.
Can you relate to that? I can.
No.
Okay. So they talk about Bill's advice. I think they sneer at it, the notion that Kendall can just simply turn up in LA and be greeted with a tablet and a viable financial package without any connections or money. So at this point, they talk about the heist script, and Kendall reveals or admits that there will be 200,000
because of Black Friday, and he says the whole script was actually based on that store where he was working.
Yeah, so just a bit of a sketchy guy, or a very sketchy guy, says that they should rob the place and split the 200, and he then dumbfounds the movie lover.
Does he?
Yeah, by admitting that he has never seen Heat.
Oh, what a loser.
Yeah, idiot.
Oh man, imagine not having seen Heat.
This is soon remedied, however, when we cut to them and Heat inside Kendall's apartment.
It's incredible. The action is the juice.
Right?
Listen, if your script is anything like this movie, well, then we got to get you to Hollywood, man. What's the title of your movie?
One Last Job.
That's hard. Pause. We got to rob the store.
Man, I'm not a criminal. I've never even gotten a traffic ticket. All I know is movies.
Well, you're going to need money if you move to L.A., right? And plus, you said you want to get back at your boy, so that's like two birds. I mean, you got all the details worked out, right?
No, I just don't want anybody to get hurt.
Who's going to get hurt? Okay, look. It's going to be me and you. We're going to go into the store at night, we're going to get the cash, and then we're going to go our separate ways. And then, one day, I'm going to be walking into a movie theater. You know his name I'm going to see up there on that big screen? Yours, my friend. So what do you say? Me and you.
Well, first, we're gonna need a map of the store.
My man.
So as we heard there, we have a montage of them planning the heist.
It's a bit sort of Ocean's 11-y, where you start off with the planning, but you also then roll into the execution of the heist.
Yeah. And we find out that they've got 30 minutes, a 30-minute window between 6:30 when the cleaners leave and the cash truck arrives on Monday morning.
That's it.
They also cut the power, which gives them time to use a Polaroid in front of the camera in the safe room. So they stick this picture up of a static image.
Yeah, so what he's just said, Reese, has just pinged in my mind a question for later on. If the cleaners are there until half an hour before the cash truck comes, let's just remember that one.
Okay.
So they're trying to open the safe in the back of the store. They've managed to get to that stage quite successfully, and they hear something.
Yeah, well, firstly, how do they get into the safe?
They find out the 4 keys that are used in the combination by using the black light, because the crisps that Bill likes to eat leave some kind of residue in his fingers.
That's what we heard at the top of the podcast.
We did.
So, as Kendall does this, Juice goes to check on this noise, and when he's alone, he opens it and finds that there is actually a lot more money than what they had or what he had anticipated.
Before he opens it, I said this to you earlier on before we started recording. The code that he uses that works, he also uses like 3 tries earlier, and it doesn't work.
No, he only knows the 4 digits.
So he's trying 6, but one of the ones that he tries is the code that then works.
All right. You sure?
Yeah, go back and watch it again.
Okay, maybe that was a goof.
Anyhow, my notes keep calling Kendall Sam, which is the actor's name. It's really annoying. I don't know why I've done that.
No, because
I've never done it before.
He's not a famous actor. He's not Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I don't understand why I've done this.
Okay.
Anyway.
He takes the excess, puts it in a bag, and then hides it in his staff locker.
This is a stupid plan.
Well, it's not a plan. That's the point. He's doing it on the spur of the moment.
He should not have done that.
What should he have done?
Just split it with Juice.
Yeah. Greed gets you nowhere.
Or leave the extra. Just take what Juice thinks is going to be there.
Don't know.
Either way.
All this is because of greed. Greed in terms of robbing in the first place, but then the trouble it gets into is because...
Additional greed,
yeah.
Bill shows up at this point to surprise Kendall.
Things take a deadly turn. He catches him, but before Kendall can explain...
Well, before Kendall even tries to explain, he tries to bluff Bill into thinking he's not Kendall.
Yeah.
Rather unsuccessfully.
Makes no difference because...
Yeah, just shows up and shoots Bill dead without even thinking about it.
Yeah, he now lets Kendall know that this isn't his first rodeo, as it were. He's already done 20 years and he won't be doing that again.
Yeah, due to a witness. I thought he said 9 years, but either way. Yeah, he's not going down that road one more time.
He doesn't care that it is his friend and simply says that he'll deal with the body and Kendall should clean up the bloody mess which is smeared over the floor after he drags the deceased out.
Yeah, he reminds Kendall that they're short on time, and I think there's a skip here because we cut to them leaving, and I assume he's done the cleanup.
Sure, okay, but also just thinks it's actually perfect because this will now give them a bit more time. The cops will assume that Bill, if they hide the body, they'll assume Bill was behind it.
Yes. As they make to leave, we see Kendall leave his script behind on Bill's desk.
Beside a pair of glasses.
But before the scene ends, we see a hand return to retrieve the script.
The incriminating evidence, yes. This week's time skip finds us where?
We're in an Indian restaurant where Charlie's talking to a woman called Jenny, who isn't particularly responsive.
No, she is more interested in her rom-com and turns over from the heist movie on the television.
She's also studying, and Charlie wants to connect with her and mentions her own brief time in the education sector, which we saw a couple of weeks ago at the elementary school.
She says it wasn't her bag.
Yes.
Now, why is Charlie there?
She is the delivery girl, and she's handed an order that is going to the Super Save store at night.
Yes. The place is locked up when she arrives and is then met by Bill as they have an awkward, flirty interaction where it's clear they are both attracted to each other.
Well, you say it's clear. I didn't get that from Charlie at all, but the musical backdrop made it clear that they were interested in one another. We get Sixpence None the Richer with their classic hit.
It is brought back a lot of 90s nostalgia.
Yeah, it's one of those songs.
Transports you, yeah.
You remember where you were, and it was like 94, 95, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of a montage that we get, the second montage of the episode.
Yes, of Bill repeatedly ordering from the same restaurant and Charlie repeatedly delivering. Is that normal that one person would do the same delivery? I suppose it depends on the size of the restaurant.
Yeah.
And these days it would be more, you wouldn't use the restaurant's own delivery person that often.
Also, all I can think of is, Indian is my favourite food.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to one last meal, it'd be a lamb bhuna.
You wouldn't be having it every night though.
But yeah, that's the thing. Every night, it's not the most... if I was trying to woo a young lady,
yeah,
I know what the condition I can be in after a decent curry.
Well, I mean, I had curry Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday this weekend, and
that's disgusting. That's far too much. It's not good for you for a start.
Well, because I made it on the Thursday, and then there was a leftover portion on Friday, and then on the Saturday I had a frozen one of the same curry from 2 weeks earlier, and then on the Sunday I went to Wagamama and had a
that's not
curry.
Yeah, but it's not the same. It's not an Indian.
No, it's different. It's completely different, and therefore okay.
Yeah.
And none of them were from an Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
The first three I made.
See, that's the thing as well. I don't like homemade. You can't...
Maybe don't make them well enough.
Nah, you can tell they're not the same as a restaurant. It's just... Well, most people don't use the ghee as well and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
it's not... Anyway, again, we're off at a tangent here.
We are.
So Jenny, we see her throw in some free samosa. She's quite into...
Well, she's bought into this whole rom-com idea of Charlie and Bill.
Yeah, apparently hot guys love these snacks.
At the store, we now get a bit of development where...
So did we say Love Actually is on the screen yet? Did I mention
I think we see more than one rom-com, but yeah, Love Actually is one of the ones that is up on the screen. And when Charlie takes this last delivery to Bill, he asks her to join him for dinner. Not right then, but the next day.
And he also tells her that it is his birthday the following day. This delights Jenny back at the restaurant almost as much as Charlie, who has reverted to a giggly teenage girl at the prospect of dinner with him.
Jenny coaches Charlie using her knowledge from rom-coms, which is also the source of the potential gift idea list that she has, which is all things like Joni Mitchell's CD, that's Love Actually, and there's a few others from rom-com movies.
Yeah, she wants to make him feel like she gets him, but not like a psycho stalker. I think, that for a first date, you have to buy someone a gift.
Well, that's how the list is categorised.
Yeah.
It goes from not enough interest to psycho stalker, yeah.
She also gives her some advice.
She does. She teaches her a technique that she thinks Charlie should employ to revisit Bill if required.
Now, this, on the face of it, sounds sensible, but it doesn't really make sense. So she says, leave something behind at his place, accidentally.
Charlie suggests her chastity, but Jenny says, no, it needs to be something valuable.
I like that line, yeah. But here's the point. So she says, if it's going well, leave something behind to give you an excuse to go back.
Yes.
But if it's going well, you don't need an excuse.
Well, maybe he's not thinking it's going well.
But in that case, then you don't force yourself on someone and you leave. You don't want to be... That's creepy. If he doesn't like it, don't go back.
It's rom-com stuff, isn't it? It's not real life.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Back in the day, rom-coms especially, but a lot of the 80s movies, looking back now, the behaviour of normally the male is stalkerish and creepy.
Yeah.
Where
yes.
the guy's going after someone who doesn't like her at first,
pursuing and
wins her around. But a lot of the stuff.
Look at James Bond as well.
Yeah,
just keep doing it until they like it.
Yeah, well, obviously that's anyway. So
that's where we all learn
my wife
our techniques.
Pussy girl. Anyhow, Jenny also advises that Charlie talk to a quirky but non-threatening co-worker if he has such a sidekick.
Which leads her directly to Kendall in the Super Save the next day, which I think is the day, or I know is the day that we opened the episode with.
Yes. So she furtively approaches him and asks for some gifting advice. But Kendall is protective of his boy and wants to see if she is a suitable match by asking her what?
Which is the best of the Mission Impossible movies?
Yeah, now I've noted here, she's unsure about the question. I don't know if she's unsure about the answer or just the question.
Yeah, so it's not clear, but I think from what we learn later on, she is familiar with the films and is therefore maybe just thinking of the answer, not understanding why this is a question that she's being asked right now.
She gives a sort of funny, a little sneer. But what does she plump for?
The first one.
Which is apparently the correct answer.
Well, it's certainly an acceptable answer. I don't think it's his answer from what we learn later on.
Okay.
It's acceptable, yes.
And he goes on to tell her about Betty.
Yes, Bill's new motorcycle.
His big chopper.
Get to the chopper.
And when a happy Charlie leaves, we see the old man enter looking for his blender.
Indeed. And then we return to the store's car park at night where Bill and I think most male viewers are impressed by, and maybe some female viewers are impressed by Charlie's get-up.
Well, she's went for the biker chick look, yeah.
It suits her.
Yeah, it does.
I think the costumer has had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah.
This is a good look.
He's even more impressed with her gift.
Oh yeah, the Guardian bell for his bike.
To protect it, protect it. That's equivalent of, I suppose, a St. Christopher, isn't it? That's
that sort of thing. And she can tell, and I think this is the one time she uses her powers this episode, that he's not lying when he says he loves it.
Yeah. He then leads her by the hand into the homeware department of the store, where he has set up a table and is relieved it is received as a romantic rather than cheesy gesture.
It's weird. Come on. It's so weird that he's done this in a shop.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get there, but yeah, his whole setup's a bit... He needs to be having a look at himself.
It's not as weird as when they get to the bed, but it's weird.
Then, under the pretense of using the bathroom, she heads to his office and we see her leaving her glasses on top of the script on the desk.
Which we saw earlier on, yes.
When she returns, she finds him, is it basting? Is that what they do? Roasting, rotating?
Basting is when you spoon liquid onto the top.
He's cooking a chicken and they talk about the cameras where she hears that they don't actually work, but that he has a panic alarm in case of emergency. And
No,
after...
it's not that they don't work. He's set them to not work by putting a loop on the system that he was taught by the previous manager.
Yes. Yeah, okay, when I say
That's
don't
quite
work,
an important point.
Yes, they're not operational.
Right now.
And after this romantic talk, they sit down to eat, where she finds out more about his relationship with Kendall.
I'm still geeking out over this Guardian Veil. It's just really, really thoughtful.
Well, you should thank your movie nerd buddy. Yeah, he's the one that alerted me to your whole chopper fixation.
Oh, Kendall, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been pretty tight since like 4th grade. Ever since we got into a fist fight about whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
It's obviously a Christmas
Definitely
movie,
a Christmas
so...
movie, but he would claim
Yeah.
that a true Christmas movie must feature Santa.
Right, well, you got Bruce Willis in the hat, so it's...
Yes, but Kendall would say it doesn't even count because that's not the real Santa.
Oh, I'm sorry. A real Santa. Real Santa.
No,
Yeah.
you preach it to the choir right here. Because it's been going on forever. I mean, anyway, we kept at it for like the next 20 years. 20 years. I actually had to let him go today.
Well, you fired him?
Yeah.
Jeez, what was that like?
Not great. But maybe this will light a fire under his ass, you know? I just read his latest movie script. It's so good. It's like his best one yet. It's like a love letter to all of the cool, old heist movies that we ever grew up watching. Kendall belongs in Hollywood. He's just too scared to actually go for it, you know? But maybe this will be the push he needs to finally give it a try.
Here's to tough love.
So just to be clear, we have found out already that Bill is, after a relationship breakup, he is now living
At work.
in the store.
Yeah.
That's just odd behaviour.
Very.
Firstly, go and get a crash with someone, go to a hotel, rent an Airbnb. But certainly, if you're going on a date, it's pathetic. Don't take her back there.
Yeah, no, that's incredibly... All you have to do is go to a restaurant.
Yeah. And wait until you have that connection. Make sure you both like each other, and then if you have to, tell her you're... But that is really... You're asking for her to just say, nah, you're a weirdo. And
You're
leaving.
oddball behaviour.
Yeah. So after talking about where he thinks Kendall belongs in Hollywood, she asks about where he belongs, and Bill tells her that he sees Super Safe as a modern day town square where people gather and make basic human connections. And this is exactly what ends up happening between the pair after moving away from the creepy Santa staring at them. That you won't have seen this Chopping Mall, no?
I don't think anyone's seen that except for maybe you.
Lots of people have seen Chopping Mall. It's a classic. No one actually gets chopped. It's lasers.
Right, so it's wrongly titled.
Very much so, yes. It just sounded pretty cool.
They should maybe have written a better script for that
Yeah.
title.
Anyway, then it's like sort of teens who are actually in their 30s, but they go to the store and they have sex on the couch and they run riot
And then they get killed with lasers.
It's they've brought in these the store's brought in these new security guards which are like
Robot things.
Yeah, and they fire lasers and they go something happens, I think a lightning strike, and they go wrong, and they end up attacking.
And do like 2 of the teenagers survive to the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen ones like it.
Yeah, of course.
We skip ahead to the post-coitus chat literally in a bed in the bedding department, which is disgusting.
Yes, with Charlie admitting that she has been thinking of settling down but can't quite picture what that would look like. Yeah, you're right there. I mean, all sorts of people, including kids and all, have been rubbing themselves all over that bed.
And he's not intending to change it after they've done this. So then it's going to be lying like that for other folk.
For the kids to come back in the next day and, mate, get down off there, Johnny.
What's this, a damp patch in the bed?
Yeah. It smells funny.
Yeah, he wants her to stick around for a while. She thanks him for a wonderful night.
Yeah, I think she confirms that his sort of weirdness might be normal for her.
Compatible with her weirdness.
So they kiss and she brings up It's a Wonderful Life. Not what they're experiencing, but an example of a Christmas movie without... You've not seen A Wonderful Life, have you?
I've deliberately not seen it because black and white movies are terrible. Except for Logan.
Mm-hmm. But the night is coming to an end when Bill realises that they open in a few hours and it will be their busiest time of the year, Black Friday.
Yes. He wants to see her again and she says he knows where to call her.
However, there seems to be a problem with Charlie now back at the restaurant on a Black Monday, watching Love Actually as Cyber whatever it is, yeah, as Jenny tries to explain why Bill has not been in touch by following the rules of rom-com.
Yes, it seems like they're not going to get together, but ultimately they will.
And just then, she receives an order for Super Save, which seems to support her belief that everything will work out.
Charlie physically celebrates this call.
She gives it a whoopee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
find ourselves at Super Save exit, and it's clear that this will not be the case in terms of her delight, as the place is covered with cops.
I said crawling, but yeah, they're everywhere.
It's now a crime scene.
One of them takes the delivery. What are the chances of them ordering from the same Indian restaurant? No,
it's not even that. What's the chances of them ordering
Indian food at all?
Yeah, you're working. You wait until you finish. You don't bring food to the crime scene.
And you certainly wouldn't order a curry.
No, exactly. Yeah, does anyone have a plate?
a wee table that we can sit at? No.
Yeah.
She hands this food to a cop and then overhears a news reporter saying that Bill is the chief suspect in a robbery.
How much? What's that robbery?
$400,000?
Yes. And so she sidles up to a disinterested employee who reckons Bill is on his way to Cancun and looks at Charlie as if she's mad when she asks why he would rob the place.
Because money.
Well, yeah, of course.
She's obviously shown up for her shift and found out she's not getting paid because it's not open.
Yeah.
So we go back to Juice and Kendall, who are sharing out the money, apparently in public.
I think it's at the bar. I'm not sure.
I thought it was Kendall's apartment, but yeah.
Nonetheless, yeah. They split the cash, and Juice gives, he's quite generous here, he could have hidden this, he gives Kendall an extra $500 from selling Bill's bike to a chop shop. So he could have taken that $500 himself.
Oh, he could have, but he didn't. He also then dismays Kendall by explaining what he did with Bill's body. Yeah,
it was a sort of a Weekend at Bernie's.
Yes, this is the film reference.
Have you seen it?
I have.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It's
It's not great.
That's a classic. Yeah.
Yeah, so Juice is not concerned. He thinks that it'll be plenty of time until they discover this body.
No, we should say, yeah,
he's replaced the Santa mannequin with Bill's body. And he thinks by the time it's discovered, they'll be long gone, and there's no reason for either of them to go back there. But we then get a lingering shot of Kendall's locker. He's got to get the money from this place, and not just because he wants the money, but because it ties it to him. Of course, yeah. This isn't now. He's not trying to get the money. That's not his primary concern. It's removing the evidence that shows that he was involved. Yes. But he's unnerved to spot Bill in his new role, just as Charlie approaches him. And he has to walk her around so that she has her back to the Santa. And I couldn't remember, I'm not sure if this is a deliberate camera, if it's mimicking a deliberate camera technique. Okay. From maybe Michael Mann. Well, he's on the list of Bill's top crime movies a couple of times, isn't he? What's Mann's best movie? And it's not, you might think it's the original Silence of the Lambs. Definitely. But it's not, with Brian Cox. I'm going to see him on Thursday in Edinburgh, his new play. Okay. Anyhow. The Physicist? No, Michael Mann's best movie is James Caan and starring in Thief. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Yeah. They talk, Charlie and Kendall do, at the Super Save, about whether Bill would actually rob the store. And Kendall is a bit bitter about what has happened to him and doesn't need to lie to Charlie to give the impression that he thinks maybe that would have happened. Indeed. She explains that Bill is Kendall's biggest fan and wasn't firing him for any reason other than to give him a shot. It was tough love. Yeah, giving him a nudge to get out of the rut that he was in. He really believed in him. This obviously must be not what he wants to hear. Yeah, but Charlie then realises that there's no reason for Kendall to be here if he's been fired. But he truthfully tells her he needs to get something from his locker. And as he walks off, Charlie is puzzled to spot the now undressed mannequin, original mannequin, sitting on a shelf. Yeah, which is a stupid place to have left it. Yeah. Anyway, this causes her to go in and examine the mannequin on the display, which is a bit distressing for her. Before she finds out why, we head to the locker room where a cop appears and reminds Kendall it's a crime scene and tells him to get out so he can't retrieve the cash.
But yeah, after Charlie tentatively approaches the Santa with a dawning realisation of what has happened, she touches him and the true horror unfolds as Bill's body falls to the floor.
She starts to hyperventilate a little bit. This was possibly the worst murder since the first episode of season 1 with the friend from the casino.
Worst in the sense that the most hurtful or personal.
Yeah, the most powerful and most impactful.
Yeah. She screams and people gather, with the exception of Kendall, who decides to make his exit at this point. Now, I understand what you're saying there, and it is personal. What I would like to say is that I don't think Charlie or we as an audience should jump to the conclusion that she's somehow found true love, or this is going. We saw in, was it Ship Mountain?
Yes, she had a montage with a tall guy.
With a big forestry type hunk, and they had many months together.
And she thought it was true love then.
And then they both ended up hating each other.
Well, he just left, didn't he? Was that what happened?
No, I think they both just realised that, it ran its course. But the point is that every divorce, starts with a loving...
I don't think it has to have been true love for her to be affected, though.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not. A little later, an emotionally exhausted Charlie finds herself in the canteen, helping the police with their investigation.
Did the deceased mention any plans to rob the store?
No, the deceased did not mention any plan to rob the store, okay? Bill loved this place, so... you guys really still think that he did this?
Well, our working theory is that Bill and an unknown accomplice pulled off the heist together. And, difference is... Then the accomplice killed Bill, took off with the whole amount.
We know that Mr. Jackson was staying here overnight. He was the only one with a safe combination, and we have proof that he was manipulating the security cameras.
No, Bill was only staying here because he'd recently had a breakup, okay? So... Wait.
What?
Can I... Okay, is that a Polaroid in front of the camera?
Yeah, like we told you, he was manipulating them.
Okay, I'm sorry, but that is not how Bill did it. Look, his previous manager had taught him how to loop the footage, right? So why would Bill suddenly use some janky-ass and frankly weirdly expensive Polaroid?
Maybe he was just a Mission Impossible fan. Wanted to pay tribute.
This Polaroid gag is from Mission Impossible 3, right?
Best film in the entire series.
I love how everyone knows about the movies and they've all got an opinion on.
I think it's believed that Mission Impossible 3 is the worst one, and this is a commentary on the cop being an idiot.
To be honest, I think I watched the first... I've seen the first one, but I'm
not sure if I've seen any of them. Maybe bits of them.
Anyway, things get worse for Kendall when he arrives home to find a quietly irate Juice waiting for him, wanting to know what happened to the extra money that was reported to have been stolen, as he plays him the news report. If I was Kendall, I would say it's probably an insurance scam. Like, they're inflating the value to claim the insurance.
Yeah, you'd say anything. I wouldn't be admitting that I'd hidden the money from him.
Anyway, he demands to know where the money is and then pulls his gun to get him to reveal the locker combination.
After receiving this information, he goes to shoot Kendall anyway, telling him that life is not like the movies. But the gun, which he apparently has stolen from Super Save...
It's a Super Save's own brand piece of shit. It doesn't fire. And so he throws the gun at him, just like Hasp did to Clark.
Yes.
And then picks up a baseball bat before Kendall goes for a samurai sword on his wall and accidentally stabs him through the chest when he turns to defend himself and watches in horror as Juice gasps and falls to the floor.
I think this is a Kill Bill reference here.
Samurai.
The samurai sword, I think over the shoulder, that is... I've not seen Kill Bill, but I think they maybe do that.
And he lets out an oh shit.
And at the Super Save, we see the cops leaving the scene and Charlie at night now emerging from a tent.
Yeah, they failed to check. Would they check it?
Why would they?
Yeah, she heads to the locker and manages to work out the combination from the ordering of the...
Mission Impossible movies, yeah. So there's a "What would Ethan Hunt do" sticker on the thing, which tells her it's going to be connected to this. Also, he asked her about it previously, and she works out what his order of preference of the movies, and then I think she indicates she doesn't agree with it, but it's correct.
And on opening the locker, she is disgusted to find the cash and what this means before Kendall himself turns up. She obviously assumes that he killed Bill, but while he admits that he is ashamed, he tells her that he didn't do it, so she would obviously know that to be true.
Yeah. There's quite a few of the people this year that aren't actual cold-blooded killers or anything like that.
However, he does tell her to drop the bag, or he will kill her, as he then produces the gun. So she must know, well, is he... He's not a killer all of a sudden. He's not, is he?
But if he says he will kill her, then she'll know if he's telling the
That's
truth.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But he knows the gun doesn't work. So this is a lie.
But he's maybe willing to kill her. It's not with the gun. Anyway.
That just confused me slightly. I think that's a bit of an inconsistency here. Yeah. Anyway, she drops the bag and raises her hands, but asks who did kill him. What does he say?
I'm not sure. What does he say?
He says it doesn't matter. But she plays on his emotions by asking if he's happy that Bill's friends and family will think that he carried out this robbery. And he obviously feels guilty and assures her that no one was supposed to get hurt and hurries her out into the shopping area of the store.
Okay, so let me guess. So you plan it all down to the last detail? You team up with some motherfucker you think you can trust? Night of robbery, everything's going exactly according to plan. Suddenly this guy turns out to be a loose cannon, and then boom, everything goes to shit. Then you two turn on each other because of the cash. Is that about right?
Wait, hold on a minute. How do you know all that?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe just because it's the plot of every fucking heist movie ever made.
Well, this is the part where I take the cash and drive off into the sunset.
Oh, I see. Really? I'm not sure about that.
Don't push that.
Well, I pushed it 3 minutes ago because this isn't some dumb fucking action movie. Oh, shit!
You were saying?
God, I stand corrected.
Where's my money?
The chick's got it!
You fucking coward!
Another example there of how the show has leapt into or beyond reality, you know, with this chap, with just running about with a sword through his chest.
Yeah, how did he get there?
Yeah.
You can't drive a car like that.
Also, when he fell, that's the type of thing that would cause a horrible injury if you fall on that sword which is through your chest.
Anyway.
Yeah, just like in the movies, the bad guy isn't dead. And we see Bill turn shooting at this assault rifle with the sword impaled on him.
No, just not Bill.
That's what I said. He shoots and screams for his money, but is distracted by the TVs that Charlie has turned on and starts firing.
Is this a Home Alone reference?
Oh, no, it's different movies.
Okay.
Sometimes it's TV, sometimes it can be mirrors, like in Enter the Dragon, or there's dozens of movies that have, you know, you're unsure which is the real vision. Even Superman 2 or 3 or whatever it is.
After giving up on the machine gun, Juice tries to draw the sword out to come after Charlie, but realises at this point that it was what was keeping him alive and collapses dead to the floor.
The famously distinct heat score begins as Charlie sees Kendall making a run for it and goes after him, as Pacino does with De Niro in the movie.
Yes, and as Kendall makes his escape from the store, he is confronted by the cops.
Yeah, so in this situation, she does not shoot him, and instead we see him being halted by the numerous flashlights and guns pointed at him by...
Wait, was that a heat spoiler you just gave us?
Oh, well, no.
And that's the end.
Well, yeah, she stands and watches, and we cut between her and Heat on the different screens in the store, and we have a stylistic nod to Michael Mann, as well as a movie-style credit scroll.
I think the style is completely lifted from the Heat closing credits.
Yeah, but it's not the usual... so normally...
It's not the poker face credits.
It's not, which... Our TV credits are normally single screens.
Yep.
Obviously, the movies, it's a scroll.
Yeah.
So there we go.
I think the key message from this one is that life is not like the movies.
Yes.
Unfortunately for Kendall. Were you invested in Charlie and Bill's relationship?
I mean, there wasn't enough time to be invested in it. It was nice to see her find some sort of happiness. I'm not sure... Well, like she admitted herself, mind you, she's not exactly an orthodox individual, so maybe teaming up with a guy who decides to live in his work and stay there. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, what's the difference between living in your work, living in your car?
I suppose it's more stable than what she's used to.
For sure.
So yeah, I think there's potential there, but you know, it's let's say I don't, you know what.
It's a tough one for her.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Any other thoughts on this one before we move on? Have you got any other references you want to churn out?
No. The ones that I've missed are just so obvious I didn't find it necessary, as previously mentioned.
Let's go through the trivia then. The director was a returner from earlier in the season, Adam Arkin. We talked about him, I think, in the school episode. The writer was Tofik Koladi, another new addition to the writers' room. I think he's got a producing credit for this season as well. He's worked for Barry and Atlanta, and he's won Writers Guild Awards with both shows and produced them as well.
Barry, is that the Henry Winkler one?
I'm not sure. I've not seen Barry.
I think it might be.
I think Atlanta is the...
yes, from Community.
I was going to say... what's the guy's name?
Yeah, the guy from Community.
Gambino.
Yes, not Baby Gambino, Baby Driver.
Childish Gambino.
Yes.
The guy's...
Yeah, Glover.
Donald Glover. Sorry, I should have got that much quicker. Kendall Hines, as I kept noting, was played by Sam Richardson. Probably best known for his role in Veep, but I recognise him from Ted Lasso, where he won a Primetime Emmy for his role as Edwin Akufo, a wealthy African trying to start a super league. He's also been in things like Detroiters, which a lot of folk like. He's in Star Trek Lower Decks and Star Trek Section 31. He was in the 2016 Ghostbusters gender-flipped reboot.
I like that one.
I thought it was better than folk said. I think a lot of folk disliked it for the wrong reasons. Yeah, he's also in a few episodes of the US Office, amongst many other things. He's, I think, one of these rising stars we're going to see a bit more of going forward. Bill was played by Corey Hawkins, a Juilliard grad. He's also appeared in things like the new Colour Purple. Was that a musical version?
The new one?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He was in Black Klansman, which I enjoyed, Walking Dead and Kong Skull Island, so I've seen 2 of those. Juice was played by James Ranson, which is interesting because he was in Inside Man, which got referenced at the start of the episode. Yeah. He was also the adult Eddie in It Chapter 2 recently. He's been in The Wire.
Is it recently? When was that out? About 10 years ago?
Not 10 years ago, no. Less than that.
Okay.
His, this probably isn't funny, but his top trivia fact on his IMDb is that in 2006 he chased a rapist down the street with a metal pole.
Yeah, that's not... I remember reading that trivia out in a... Has he been in something else that we've covered?
Maybe lots of people do this.
Someone else as well.
Yeah. Maybe it's the same rapist.
Stop saying rapist. We're going to get...
Censored,
yeah.
And surely if he's chased him away with a pole, he's not a rapist. No, let's not get into that semantic. Right. Jenny Singh was played by another rising star, Geraldine Viswanathan. She will be recognised by Marvel Cinematic Universe fans for her role as Mel in the recent Thunderbolts movie, but she's also been in things like Drive Away Dolls, Blockers, and Miracle Workers. And Brian Shoop played the shop customer. He's a latecomer to acting, I think in his mid to late 40s he started, and he's been in things like The Rookie, Tulsa King, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Severance.
Shoop, remember it was a song, wasn't it? Was it
Shoop song. It was,
Winter Rider, Cher. It was a movie, I think.
But it was in the Ally McBeal series quite often. Vonda Shepherd did a version of it. Okay, trivia. Other than that, locations. Super Save was the Ocean State job lot in Nanuet, and the Indian restaurant is actually an Asian fusion place called Kinoko in Brooklyn. Another reference that I spotted, one of the cops says, "Whoa, differences." The other one, that's straight out of No Country for Old Men. Hopefully we covered enough references not to embarrass ourselves today. Episode title, One Last Job, I think it's a Heat reference. Yeah. So it could be anything, but I think Heat being the predominant thing in this one.
Do get in touch if you have any other references that we've missed or deliberately left out.
Yeah, skipped over for time purposes.
And do tell me about the Goonies. Please explain.
Yeah. Music from this one, various Christmas songs. I don't need to list individually. Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer, and the outro was the same as in Heat, God Moving Over the Face of the Waters by Moby. In terms of who did crimes this week, Juice did murder and robbery, Kendall did manslaughter of Juice and robbery. Juice is dead and will therefore get away with it, and Kendall will not. Next week, Charlie joins a group of con artists after detecting their ruse in the sleazy Georgian.
Okay, until then,
cheerio.
Bye-bye.